Hey, how's it going? My name is jackiefishhh and welcome back to another showdown match on Rise of Mordor Total War. Today we have a classic Gondor up against Isengard on a pretty awesome custom map battle. This isn't like a city or anything, but I thought it was a really cool map on the workshop, so I thought I'd dive into it. And I definitely do enjoy just kind of these interesting land maps because they're not so many things we get to see too often. Normally it's all about the cities and the castles and stuff, which, don't get me wrong, are awesome, but it's nice and refreshing to jump in and fight alongside one of these now and again. So in today's battle we do have, I believe, 13,000 soldiers on the battlefield. Yeah, just over 13,000 troops, and it should make for one hell of an engagement. Isengard is set up in 3 squadrons with the heavy sword line and berserker line over on this right hand side. I believe they even have some spear units as well. Yeah, some of these lighter Uruk-hai guardsmen right here, just with a smaller shield, kind of a spear, and also some armor. This is a really cool unit from the sub mod, again, which I'll link down below in the description, you can check out. Then over in their other squadron, again, they've kind of got these half-orc axes, which are super strong. These units can rip through armor, however, they're obviously very vulnerable to missile fire. These guys looking awesome. And then the last little squadron is going to be made up of these elite White Hand Stormers, which are very strong. We also have some pikemen, and surprisingly no berserkers. There probably are a couple berserkers somewhere. Oh yeah, they're over on the right hand side. Then if we take a look at Gondor's forces, you can see that they're in a pretty nice defensive position up in this corner. And they have on their front line, obviously, the traditional units. We have the Peneth Galia Spearmen, which are really cool. I like that we've got like a load of these units like Ringlow Vale Men-at-Arms, because Gondor itself had a lot of these provinces where they would draw men from, whereas I feel like a lot of people just kind of recognize Gondor from their imperial units, from these guys who would guard the capital. But, you know, Gondor was one hell of a big place and could definitely field a lot of soldiers. You know, they would call their banners. Dol Amroth, for example, sent a lot of soldiers to Minas Tirith for the siege of Minas Tirith, and they arrived there before the army did hit them. We also have some warriors of Losernak. I butchered that pronunciation, but these axemen are pretty deadly. So let's tell these guys to start the battle. Okay, so I've just told them to start the battle, and they should start advancing and getting this bad boy undergo. Well, we just kind of run through the last part of the formation. So we also have some Gondor spearmen, which are going to be setting up in a pretty beautiful line like so. We then have some trebuchets as well. The Gondorian trebuchets are just so good. I mean, there's so many individual units in Rise of Mordor that do just look so awesome. Hopefully we'll catch this thing firing as well, as Isengard are now pushing towards them in their large amount of forces. And Isengard do outnumber Gondor by about 2,500 soldiers, so that's pretty crazy, the amount of more men they have. Where is the range of the trebuchet? Can we see it? I don't think we can, because it must be more than this, right, the trebuchet range. Maybe it's not, though. Maybe it is up to this point. I guess it is quite a long distance. This map is quite long. Yeah, I mean, maybe it is. I was hoping it would be longer, but yeah, it must be that line right there. Well, we'll see that bad boy shooting. We also have some cavalry, which is currently moving over across the flanks as we speak. Gondorian horsemen in their lovely looking armor. Just like when Faramir rid his group to retake the lost city. We then, over on this right hand side, have some more of these Pelagia Marines. So this kind of side flank is very vulnerable, I think, as the cavalry does make its way out. Isengard could easily smash that if they so desire. It looks like they're going to be splitting their army up into 3 quadrants, like we said. 1 to attack this side, 1 to move around and come in through the side, and then the kind of main force, which is being pushed up now, is going to go ahead and attack this center point. And it's actually a really smart idea, because Isengard have a lot of units pushing around that left flank. So because they're pushing around that left flank, it's going to be very testing for the forces of Gondor. They're going to have to send more soldiers, that is for sure. Also, guys, just a quick notification before we do get started, like fully into the action. if you guys want to see more Rise of Mordor, if you guys want to fight in these Rise of Mordor battles, or just any Total War, for example, be sure to go ahead and join my Discord. The link will be in the description down below. I'm really looking to try and get more people there and start playing battles with loads of different people. So if you want to play Warhammer 2 custom battles, you want to play Rise of Mordor custom battles, 1212 custom battles, you know, just go ahead and join the Discord along with Arena as well. So just join the Discord, try and get active. You know, some chats might be a little bit dead right now, but just, you know, you can restart and light the fire upon that Discord and, you know, like light the beacons of Minas Tirith, for example. So any of the archers for Gondor shooting yet? We have a couple here who look like they're in perfect positions to shoot the enemy. They're just not there holding their fire. Yeah, they're just shooting. I'm going to tell them to fire. Oh, there we go. Don't need to. The archers are now shooting. For a second, I thought like these guys weren't on fire at will. Because as you can see, they have a really good angle shooting and just raining them arrows down on the Isengard forces, which are now pushing. We also have their soldiers. I think they're being hammered by javelin fire, along with more arrow fire as well, as Isengard push further and further forward. Yeah. Oh, and the trebuchet as well. Oh, just taken out, man. My God, imagine being hit by that trebuchet right there. Must have been one of the ones further over there. Another trebuchet going out. I love the custom animations of the trebuchets. They're so awesome. Oh, that was a direct hit on the Stormers as well. That was brutal. That ripped apart this formation. As these guys do just push up closer and closer. How cool is that, man? My God, Lord of the Rings is just hands down the best, literally. The more and more they develop on this mod, the more amazing it's going to be. It really is. I wonder if one day they'll change the projectiles to be more like the ones we see in Minas Tirith, like more like just building blocks rather than anything else. I think that could be pretty goddamn cool. So the engagement over on the centre has now engaged as Isengard have pushed up their forces up into the Gondorian lines. The Gondorian spearmen aren't the strongest unit at killing, but they're strong at holding the line. These half-orc axes, though, are going to be deadly. Honestly, they're going to be cutting through the spearmen, so maybe more reinforcements do need to be sent in there, as we are seeing lots of the enemy being pushed further back. Also, as you may see, we're getting a little bit of lag here and there. That's because Isengard themselves don't have their low textures in yet, so they really do. They kind of put a lot of pressure on the system, which is something I think is something that we will be seeing improvements on in the future. We do actually, however, see a lot of the Orc arm units actually running away, and I think this could be heavily down to the amount of javelins that were thrown in their direction when we got into this battle. You know, that really softened up a lot of the units, and because of that, it allowed the Gondorians just to go ham. And we can see them doing a lot of damage to that front line, and we could just see this entire like squadron being broken. Still no reinforcements being sent up here in the center either. These Gondorians are just taking a little peppering from the archer fire. I'm sure a few of these arrows have found their mark. The Gondorians back here as well are just biding their time. I mean, they have such a good little position right here. The trebuchet is going out. And on the right-hand side, they're a little bit stuck, but just fighting pure cavalry right now, I believe. That's kind of what they're focused on dealing with. Does look like they've managed to capture one of the horse units, though. And they're actually fighting the berserkers right now, who are just trying to take down these horses with every single step that they move in. They also got some of the lightly armored spears as well. Balance power-wise, we can see that Gondor has kind of cut the deficit down quite nicely. And I honestly think it's heavily down to this position needs to pour into the formation right here. If these units can get stuck in, which is exactly what they're doing right now, then they're going to smash this side. This side is just going to cave in so quickly. Because we don't have any Imperial units. We don't have any of the Gondorian infantry. It's just kind of these more lightly armored retinue from Gondor. We now have the extra units of White Hand Guardians right now being brought into the fight, and again, I think this is where we're going to see the unit being broken quite heavily as well. Our men have regrouped. Oh, it looks so cool. I just dig that so much with all the arrow fire coming in. You can even see the soldiers up there. That's something in Total War I really do love to see, is when you just have like loads of stuff happening in the background, And I think that's a sign of a really good map, is when you have all of these units fighting and you just have stuff going on, like soldiers peeking over the top, people in the back. I always think it's really cool. It's one of my favorite Warhammer 2 maps, or Warhammer 1 maps, is the one, I think it's Karak Kadrin, where you're just looking down on the huge defenses and you're just overlooking the big bridge. Or maybe it's Karak Kadrin. It's one of them. And there's like a really good artillery position and you just see the hordes of orcs pouring into the city. I think I'm going to have to redo that map at some point. A really nice hammer and anvil by the Dol Amroth Knights. Dol Amroth playing a big part in this battle. All that. Oh, what a little slice there by that knight, bro. Good on you, man. Good on you. You can see the trebuchet back there as we fight underneath the trees. More Gondorians here going toe-to-toe against the orcs. Love it as well how you can also just see that battle line back there. Look at that thick line of shields. Never to be broken. Gondor will hold this day. So if we go back to the main fighting point right here, which is this line, as we can see, the spearmen are starting to go down. I think the engagement has just really kicked off. Isengard just need to commit all of their units along this battle line, and I think they'll kill you. You can already see another 5 soldiers have dropped. But Gondor are committing more soldiers over here now. They're starting to send more and more soldiers over to this right-hand side. Oh god, they're struggling though. I think at the moment the reason that the battle looks so skewered is because the fact that a lot of the elite soldiers from Gondor have killed a lot of the weaker units from Isengard at the moment. I mean, we could just see an absolute smash, you know. Not necessarily that Isengard are even going to be able to hold up against Gondor. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes battles are one-sided. I'm not just going to have a super close battle every single time, and just because it isn't close doesn't mean it's not a good battle. It's all about what you do with the units and how you outflank. We do, however, see that the Stormers have managed, or the Guardians even, have managed to start to envelop this unit on the front lines, and they should be dominating the battlefield. We also have the famous pikemen as well being brought up to the fight, and once these guys get in there, their pikes will be able to start just hitting away at the enemy at range. We even see the archers up there as well. It looks so cool. More reinforcements being committed. The pikes have now gone down, and they're going to be slowly advancing. Is the general making his move up here as well? I think he is, and I think his main position would probably be to attack the center. Or, no, he's going to go all in on this left-hand side, I think. Which I think is the best possible plan. The Uruk-hai do seem like they kind of glitched out a little bit here. They're waiting for their time to be brought into the fight. More of the Axemen brought up here as well. Looking to aid their brothers in the front line. So the Gondorian force has gone for much more of a cheaper army, but with chevrons on it, so they're a little bit more trained. Whereas the Isengard army has just gone for pure numbers. They have 2,600 more Uruk-hai, or soldiers in general. I guess they have 7,000 more Uruk-hai because Gondor don't have any, but they've kind of gone for a larger number of units rather than kind of an elite corps. And the elite corps, you know, having the extra chevrons on the unit seems like it's really paying off for Gondor, at least in this engagement right now. Again, going over, we're just going to be scouting over. Oh, here we go. Another beautiful charge here by Dol Amroth right into the rear of Isengard. Oh, damn, that is brutal. They really needed some form of like missile protection or something to take these guys out. Yeah, they needed like more artillery or something just to break up this, or maybe just the berserkers. But I thought the berserkers would have also just been cut to pieces by the arrow fire as well. The pikemen are now up as well. And this is actually a pretty good tactic, at least in the game. Obviously, it wouldn't work in real life because you'd kill your own men. But having the pikemen in the back line, oh my god, that javelin throw was brutal. Having the pikemen in the back helps to kill a lot of these units. The infantry is actually pulled back, which is a really smart idea. We also have some breaking over on the right-hand side now that we do have the pikes turning up. Archer fire focusing down these axemen. Oh, that's brutal. Killing 20 of them in a one volley. As a lot of these axemen just fall down, being set ablaze as if they were covered in gasoline. Another volley. seemingly shugging off a lot of these shots though. But the arrow volleys are going to keep on coming in. And Gondor is continuing to put out the arrow fire. They even have some Aphelion Rangers as well. The missile fire is just thick and fast coming in. How are we doing over in the center? The center is pretty broken as more and more reinforcements try to come in looking to do any damage they can against the Gondorians. But it's very hard for them just to break through this, especially when Gondor are just holding that battle line. As we said, this was going to be the key part of the battle, but with the reinforcements turning up of the Axemen, along with, we even have some Citadel Guard back there. Yeah, we can see the Citadel Guard ready to reinforce, and also the support of the cavalry, just doing so many harassment assaults. It looks like Isengard have just come into an ambush, and obviously with their poor commands and their lack of strategy, at least in this department, you know, Gondor was definitely ready for this assault by Isengard. I like to think these are like the Uruk-hai out of Helm's Deep. One of the things that I think a few people don't actually know is a lot of the Uruk-hai in Helm's Deep were rushed. They weren't really trained too well. They were mainly just sent into battle as soon as possible because they wanted to crush Rohan before they could muster up a force.
They're not done yet.
So a lot of the units that fought, a lot of the Uruk-hai that fought at Helm's Deep were poorly trained. So if they could have had their time training, they would have ripped through the defense at Helm's Deep. Well, they would have had a much easier time at least holding against the 2,000 horses that turned up. I mean, obviously when the Ents turn up, though, it's probably all over for the Uruk-hai. They probably could have taken the fortress in time. Or at least a little bit, maybe a little bit more effectively. I mean, to say that though, Helm's Deep is one hell of a fortress. It's not portrayed as much in this game too much, but in the movies and stuff, the actual map itself, the actual castle, is extremely small, much like it should be. You know, a couple hundred men should be able to hold off for a long time. You know, does look like though that Isengard have been completely broken over on this right hand side, and now Gondor are being a bit aggressive, trying to run down the rest of these archers who are situated scattered, and now these lightly armored archers are going to be getting cut down. Heads getting flung. Gondor are looking for blood, and as you can see, the balance of power is being horrifically pushed in the favour of Gondor. And Isengard's numbers are just dropping dramatically as their men start to flee on this right flank, and Gondor is in a full-on assault. There's still one last little group of veterans right here, pushing round to the left-hand side. But these guys are just far too late. They maybe should have been the first units into battle, because these guys look like some pretty badass Uruk-hai. And they really need to have been in the battle a little bit sooner. Even the left-hand side is now starting to crumble for Isengard. There are a few more reserves bravely being brought into battle, but it's just unfortunately not going to be enough for the legendary forces. Especially these lightly armoured spears are going to be no match for the Gondor. Actually, I mean, these Gondor units aren't that great, but I think at this point the battle is just shifting off to the end. I mean, some Berserkers are going in, and that's going to be a good shock unit. Just a little bit too late, I think. Also, if anyone notices, we're actually starting to get a little bit of lag now. Considering we had 13,000 soldiers on the field, and now we have a lot less, kind of surprising. Oh my god, these Berserkers though are going ham. They've just killed like 6 or 7 dudes straight away, decapitating the Gondorians like they don't even stand a chance. Wow, that's impressive. But I mean, it's a little bit too late for that to happen. As you can see, the last remnants of the Isengard forces going down. So there are a few more factions in the game now from the sub mod, not the official mod. They're still working on other units, but we have the elves, we have Dunland, we have Dal Amroth now, we have a bunch more units for all the other rosters as well. So let me know what you want to see next in the comments down below, as I'll be very, very happy to see what you guys suggest, and I'll be sure to do it. I did put up a poll on the channel not so long ago, asking you guys what you wanted to see. more of on the channel, and it kind of, the poll was mainly battles, and it was mainly like more Attila battles and more Warhammer 2 custom battles. So I think that's what I'm going to try and do a lot more of. Warhammer 2 custom battles and Attila and Rise of Mordor. Try and get at least like maybe like 4 battles in every single week. I think would be kind of cool for you guys, and just have a mix, whether it is Seven Kingdoms, Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, 1212, Warhammer. Just try and keep a real nice mix on the channel. That's kind of my plan. Do you see the Isengard forces putting up one last brave stand? But I mean, as soon as the cavalry comes in here, it is over for the forces of evil. And good has triumphed this day, just because I think they had a better plan going into this battle. The Gondorians knew that the Isengard forces would just rush towards them, descend upon them. They left a lot of their weaker units on that right-hand side and used their cavalry very effectively. And unfortunately, there are no wargs in this battle, or there are no wargs in the mod yet. So because of that, Isengard have a hard trouble of dealing with all this heavy cavalry. And the more professionally built army seems to have won this day, rather than just pure numbers. Gondor have definitely lost some soldiers though. They've definitely run its course and have lost quite a few men. And they have actually smashed this centre now. Wow, that's pretty impressive. The fact that they've managed to take out this centre. Now they're running onto the Aphelion Rangers who have been caught out. The Fountain Guard boat are making their way into battle. And I mean, oh, just look at this unit pushing forward. That is just amazing. Just look at them. Especially once they put down these pikes now as well. Well, actually, it looks like they're pulling out their swords, as more reinforcements are going to be pushing around either of the flanks. I mean, this is what they needed at the beginning. They needed these elite units up here. Even though one of the White Hand Stormers are actually going to rout. Wow. Rest of the reinforcements coming around as well. If we take a little zoom out of the battlefield, we can see that, yeah, the end is nigh. That is definitely for sure. More reinforcements going in. The White Hand Stormers taking down as many Gondorians before their number is up. They ended up killing just over 2,000 Gondorians, so about half of the Gondorian force. And realistically, this is what I kind of like more in battles. I kind of like, you know, the winner having, like, taking about half his army's casualties. Because it kind of shows that, you know, it's not like it just kind of just shows that the army was more professionally trained, rather than just being like 100 men left on the winning side. I kind of prefer the fact that they kind of have a lot more units. Because I feel like that's just more how battles went historically. You know, the winner would tend to still have a large amount of their force left. Because I guess the enemy army would normally end up routing rather than anything else, as they do just descend upon the routing units. The Stormers, yeah, the cavalry up here as well, as we jump on board with them one last charge. Is that going to be them routing now? Very, very close to it. The Aphelion Rangers are actually going to break as well. The General bravely standing up. Oh, and we also have the Archer Fire coming in as well. I mean, these Gondorian archers must be killing so many of their friendly units, but I guess it's worth it just to finish this battle. And there we have it, the victory for good guys. Gondor managed to claim that battle. And oh, that was so much fun. I really enjoyed that custom map battle. Like, even just like cool maps like that, which aren't like, you know, crazy castles like, you know, Minas Tirith or anything like that. Yeah, that was just a really cool land battle. And hopefully the modder does make more and more of these types of maps, because, you know, that was fun. You know, it was kind of a very simple map, but it had a lot of flavour to it. It was large, so there was lots of strategy involved. And there were a few defensive positions, but it wasn't overly, you know, in favour of one side or another, at least for the map itself. So if we look at the kills, yeah, you can see, look how the White Hand Stormers got 161 kills, and they turned up so much later than everyone else. That's quite impressive. The rest of Berserkers just didn't get in quick enough, and we also see more of the White Hand Stormers right there. Taking a look at Gondor's forces, it's their cavalry. Almost 500 kills on this night of the Silver Swan, and 333 on this one. brutal. The javelins almost 300 kills. Even this infantry getting a couple hundred is very impressive. Oh, and this one as well, 475 for this Gondor sword. Very impressive indeed. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you want to see more Rise of Mordor, let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.